I got a call last week from a guy who owns an HVAC company. He's been in business for 18 years. Good reputation, solid team, does great work. And he told me he's thinking about shutting down because he can't compete anymore. His competitor opened 3 years ago. Same services, same area, arguably worse work based on what my client hears from customers who've used both. But that competitor is booked out 2 weeks. My client is scrambling for jobs. So you know what the difference is? The competitor's Google Business Profile is dialed in. And my client's profile was claimed but basically abandoned. Same city, same services. One business is thriving and one is dying. And it has nothing to do who's better at work. That's what we're talking about today. What actually moves the needle for Google Business Profile optimization in 2026 and what it costs you if you ignore it, and the stuff you won't find in some generic blog post. This is real tactical depth. And if this is your first time listening, hit subscribe right now so you don't miss the next episode where we're breaking down review strategy. So let's talk about what you're actually losing. If you're not showing up in the top 3 of Google Maps when someone searches for your service, the map pack, that little box with 3 businesses, you're invisible. Not on page 2, not ranked lower, just invisible. So here's what that means in dollars. Let's say you're a plumber. Your average service call is $300. You could handle 5 more jobs a week if you had the leads, right? That's $1,500 a week, $6,000 a month, and $72,000 a year. Your competitor who is in the map pack, they're getting those calls, not because they're better, because they show up and you don't. And here's the thing that makes me crazy. Most small business owners don't even know this is happening. You just think business is slow. You think the market is tough. You think people aren't searching for your services. They are, they're just not finding you. Meanwhile, you're spending $2,000 a month on Google ads trying to make up the difference. You're running Facebook ads. You're doing Groupon deals. You're discounting your services to stay competitive. And the whole time, the solution is sitting right there. Your Google Business Profile. Free, you just actually have to use it. So here's something you won't find in generic articles about Google Business Profile optimization. Your primary category is the single most important decision you make on your profile. Most people get it wrong. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're a cleaning company. You do residential cleaning, commercial cleaning, move-out cleaning, even post-construction cleaning. And you want to be found for all of it. So you think, I'll pick commercial cleaning services as my primary category because that's where the money is. Well, I'll tell you why that's a wrong move. Because Google's algorithm assigns different weight to different categories based on search volume and competition. If 80% of searches in your area are for house cleaning, but your primary category is commercial cleaning service, you're sabotaging yourself for the majority of searches. Your primary category should match what most people in your area are actually searching for, not what you want them to search for, not what sounds more professional, what they actually type into Google. And here's the insider part. Google has a category hierarchy. Some categories are parent categories, some are child categories. And if you pick a child category as your primary, when there's a more specific parent category, you're diluting your relevance signals. Example, plumber is a parent category. Emergency plumber is essentially a child under that umbrella. If you pick emergency plumber as your primary, you're only hyper relevant for emergency searches, but you're less relevant for general plumber near me searches, which are 10 times higher volume. This is why I see businesses with worse reviews outranking businesses with better reviews. Category precision beats review volume when Google is deciding relevance. And if you're not sure what your primary category should be, look at what your top 3 competitors in the map pack are using. They're there for a reason. So, okay, reviews. Everyone knows you need reviews, but here's what most articles don't tell you. Google doesn't just count your reviews, it's watching the pattern. If you get 50 reviews in 1 month and then nothing for 6 months, that looks suspicious. Google thinks you ran a promotion or you're trying to game the system. And if all your reviews come in on Mondays, that's also a pattern. If they all come in from accounts created in the last 30 days, that's a pattern. And if the language is eerily similar across multiple reviews, that's a pattern. Google's algorithm is looking for organic, consistent review velocity. That means you should be getting reviews steadily over time. 2 to 5 reviews a week is better than 30 reviews in 1 week. And here's the thing that nobody talks about. Review recency matters more than review volume for rankings. A business with 150 reviews but nothing in the last few months will get outranked by a business with 80 reviews but 10 in the last 30 days. Google interprets fresh reviews as a signal that you're active, that you're serving customers, and that you're still in business. So if you're sitting on 200 reviews from 3 years ago and you've stopped asking for them, you're losing ground every single month. So here's a tactical move. Build a system where every completed job triggers a review request. Not a manual, hey, can you leave me a review text? A system. Email automation, SMS automation, whatever. Make it automatic so it's consistent. And when you respond to reviews, respond to all of them, not just the bad ones. Google tracks engagement signals. And if you only respond when there's a problem, you're missing an opportunity to show you're active and engaged with your customers. If this kind of tactical breakdown is helpful, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We're going deep on every episode. So let's talk about AI search because this is where things get interesting. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google's AI overviews, etc., they're not using the same proximity algorithm that the Google Maps uses. So here's what I'm seeing in real data. A plumber in downtown Denver gets recommended by ChatGPT over a plumber in the same neighborhood because the downtown plumber has a better structured data on their website. And what do I mean by structured data? Schema markup. Specifically, local business schema with service schema nested in it. Most websites don't have this, or they have it but it's implemented wrong. The business name in the schema doesn't match the Google Business Profile business name. The address format is different. The phone number has parentheses in one place and dashes in another. AI platforms read this structured data to understand what your business is, what you do, and who you are. And if your schema is messy or missing, AI doesn't even recommend you, even if you're closer. So here's the tactical piece. Your schema needs to include not just your business info, but your service menu. These specific services you offer described in natural language. For example, don't just say plumbing services, say emergency plumbing repair, water heater installation, drain cleaning, sewer line repair. Each one has a separate service in your schema. Why? Because when someone asks ChatGPT, who can fix my water heater in Boulder, it's scanning for businesses that explicitly list water heater services in their structured data. And if your schema just says plumbing, you're less relevant than the competitor who spelled it out. And here's the part that connects back to your Google Business Profile. Your Google Business Profile service menu needs to match your website schema exactly. Same wording, same services. Google and AI platforms cross-reference this. And if they don't match, it's a relevance penalty. I see this mistake constantly. The Google Business Profile says residential plumbing and the website says home plumbing services. To a human, that's the same thing. But to an algorithm, it's a mismatch. Fix it. So let's talk about Google Business Profile posts because this is where I see people waste a ton of time. Generic advice says post regularly, post photos, post updates. Okay, great, but here's what actually matters. Google tracks engagement on your post, not just views, clicks, calls, direction requests. If you're posting content that gets 0 engagement, Google stops showing your post. Your reach drops and your profile looks less active. So what gets engagement? Offers. First-time customer, 25% 20% off your first service call. That gets clicks. Before and after photos of completed work. People click on those to see the full image. Time-sensitive content. We have availability this week for emergency repairs. That creates urgency. And what doesn't get engagement? Generic inspirational quotes, stock photos, happy Monday posts. Don't waste your time. And here's the insider move. Your post should include a call to action that matches user intent. If you're a restaurant, book a table or view our menu. If you're a service business, call us today. Get a free estimate. And if you're a retail, shop online or visit our store. Google gives you the option to add action buttons to posts. Most people ignore this. Use it. It boosts engagement. Don't put phone numbers or links in your post. Google wants you to use that call to action button. One more thing on posts. Frequency matters more than you think. Posting once a week consistently beats posting daily for 2 weeks and then going silent for a month. Pick a cadence you can maintain. Weekly is fine. Just be consistent. So we're going to talk about NAP consistency next. Your name, address, and phone number. Everyone says it has to be exact everywhere, and that's mostly true. But here's the nuance that no one talks about. Google does have a tolerance for certain variations. If your business name on your website is Smith Plumbing and your Google business profile says Smith Plumbing LLC, that's usually fine. Google understands legal suffixes. But if your website says Smith Plumbing and Heating and your Google business profile says Smith Plumbing, that's not fine. You've changed the service descriptor. Google sees that as two different businesses. And your phone number formatting, parentheses, dashes, and spaces. Doesn't matter as much as you think, right? 555 in parentheses, 123-4567, and 555-123-4567 are recognized as the same number. But if you have a tracking number on your website and a different number on your Google business profile, that is a problem. Google sees those as different businesses or multiple locations. Your address formatting is where people screw up the most. STREET versus ST. Suite 200 versus number 200. First floor versus floor 1. Google's algorithm is pretty good at normalizing these, but why risk it? Pick one format, use it everywhere. The citation sources that actually matter for local SEO in 2026 are not the 500 directory lists agencies try to sell you. It's Yelp, Better Business Bureau, your local chamber of commerce, industry-specific directories, Angie for home services, ALO for lawyers, health grades for medical, and local news or blog mentions. Focus on 10 to 15 high-quality citations with perfect NAP matching. That beats 500 garbage directory listings every single time. So we've covered a lot. Category, strategy, review patterns, AI schema, post engagement, NAP tolerance, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't. So here's what you do today. Just one thing. Go to your Google business profile. Look at your primary category. Ask yourself, is this what most people in my area are actually searching for? And if you're not sure, Google your service near me from an incognito window. Look at who's in the map pack. What categories are they using? And if your primary category doesn't match the top ranking competitors, change it. That one change can shift your rankings more than anything else. Then next week, tackle your service menu. Make sure it matches your website. Week after week, build your review. And then the week after, build your review request system. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to start moving in the right direction. And here's the timeline reality. You're looking at 3 to 6 months to see meaningful movement in your rankings. Maybe longer if you're in a competitive market with established competitors. But here's what I tell my clients. You're either starting today and seeing results in 6 months, or you're wishing you started 6 months ago. Your competitor's doing this right now. or they're hiring someone to do it for them. Every month you wait, the gap gets wider. Every review they get that you don't, every post they publish that you don't, every schema update they make that you don't, it compounds. Look, I run an agency. I manage Google Business Profile and SEO for clients who don't have the time to do this or don't want to learn it. And some of you listening should hire someone, whether it's me or another legit agency. But a lot of you can do this yourselves. It's not rocket science. It's just knowing what actually matters versus what's noise. It's understanding the category hierarchy, the review patterns, the schema requirements, the engagement signals. That's why I started this podcast. I got tired of watching small business owners get lied to. Tired of seeing them paying $400 to $1,000 or more a month to agencies who do nothing for them. And tired of hearing, I didn't know that's how that worked. So here's the deal. If this episode gave you something you didn't know before, the category strategy, the review velocity pattern, the schema markup, insight, whatever, subscribe to this podcast right now. We're doing this every week. Deep tactical breakdowns on what actually is working for local visibility in 2026. And on the next episode, we're going to talk about reviews, how to get them without begging, how to respond without sounding like a robot, and what to do when you get a 1-star review from someone who was never even your customer. All the messy real world stuff no one talks about. And if you want help with any of this, if you want me to audit your Google Business Profile, if you want to learn how to do it yourself or you want it done for you, I've got options. Free video audit at my website, rankboostmedia.com, for DIY training in the local visibility machine community, or done for you services if you want that handled. But whether you work with me or not, do one thing today. Look at your primary category. That's your homework. I'm Hillary Ploche. Find me at Rank Boost Media, TikTok, Instagram, for YouTube, and let's get you visible.